Hello everyone once again. Today I'm going to do a quick unboxing video because I got another wireless mic. If you haven't watched the wireless microphone shootout that I did yesterday, that would be a good place to start. It's kind of long, it's like 15 minutes long, but it goes into a little bit about my quest for a new wireless microphone system. So in that one, we tested a couple. We tested my original venerable old AWX RAD 360, which is sort of the standard I'm comparing everything else against because that's such a great product, and I would keep using it, except that it's not that's not an option anymore. It's finally getting to the end of its life, and so I've got a couple other things that I'm going to try before I actually buy. One of them we did yesterday was the NUX, the wireless microphone system that was on loan to me from one of my students, and I found a couple of good things about that one and a couple of things that are not ideal. But anyway, today in a shipment, I got this. So yeah, woohoo! And this is this could be a really cool thing. As you can see on the board, and we're gonna unbox it in a second, but let's take a look at this. The transmitter is just this little thing here, and then it's got the little microphone on the little gooseneck that just clips right onto this. But it's got a very robust looking receiver unit. I can't wait to get into this thing. Let's look at some of the features on the back. Clips directly to belt or waistband, or obviously the bell of the instrument. 8-hour rechargeable lithium-ion battery. So they tell you on here that it's how long the battery is going to last. Now 8 hours might seem like a really long time, but that's when you do your sound check, and then you go get dinner, and then you come back and do the gig. So you're gonna want to learn to turn it off and on between sets and between all the other things, because 8 hours of battery life generally will not last the full 8 hours while you're actually doing it. Sealed gold contact charging connector. So yeah, we'll see how that all works. I don't know what's in here yet. It looks like it's got rack ears too, if you want to rack mount the receiver unit. Now that's a lot more important if you're doing a whole bunch of these things. Like if you're a theater company and all of your actors and actresses have headset mics, you're gonna want a whole rack of these things, and so that's. But I'm just me, and so chances are I'm just gonna keep it in the regular unit without a rack. Let's see what this is. 80 operating channels across 24 megahertz bandwidth. Up to 8 simultaneous systems per frequency band, 300-foot operating range, line of sight. Line of sight is important. You don't want to be behind a bunch of concrete walls or anything like that, because it will cut out. I've had that happen to me before. Group scan for easy setup. IR sync wirelessly matches receiver and transmitter frequency. Now, I've read about this. I did my homework before I ordered this, and so it has a little bit of different way of connecting the receiver to the transmitter. You set the frequency on the transmitter, and then you hold the receiver up to it so that there's a line of sight between the little infrared sensor on one to the other, and then the receiver will communicate its frequency to the transmitter, and then the transmitter will say, "Oh yeah, I got it, okay," and then they're paired. And you can do that every time you use it. I'm hoping I don't have to repair it every time I turn it on and plug it in, because that's kind of a drag. One of the things I love about the AWX is that I've had it for 15 years and I've never had to change the frequency. I can just turn it on and I'm ready to go. So this, well, we'll find out. But anyway, the true RF diversity design minimizes dropouts. That's a good thing. Tone key prevents unwanted noise when transmitter is out of range. That's one of the things that I was reading about the previous older generations of the Samson wireless mic system, is that when you turned it off or when you muted it, it would send all kinds of noise through the board, and so you had to basically just leave it on the whole time in order for it to keep from making the whole auditorium sound like the buzz of a missing wireless unit. So this says that it looks like it's they've fixed that in this. Ranged, rugged all-metal receiver with removable quarter-inch wave antennas. That's good. That's going to be hopefully pretty roadworthy. Magnetic USB charger, rack mount kit, AC adapter, and additional windscreens included. I like all of these things. So let's open it all up and see what we got. So we'll start, open the box, and looks like this. Okay, so we'll just do the, so manual, very important, RTFM. We've got the receiver unit here, and looks like everything's wrapped in this nice plastic. So we've got that. I'm going to just put these set to the side. We've got our two antennas, and this is the microphone. Oh, okay, so this has got the little mini XLR connector. Let's take this out so we can see it. Okay, so this has got the mini XLR connector on one end and the actual microphone on the other end, and it's got this little bendable gooseneck here. So that's what we'll use to actually be our microphone. Now we've got the transmitter, and that just looks like this. So, and that is the microphone just plugs into that thing. Let's try that. Okay, so it's a 3-pin connector. We want to make sure we get the orientation of the pins right. So that's just going to plug in just like that. And then this goes in a little clip onto the bell, and then this you can position wherever you want it to. Where's the IR sensor? It must be this. Okay, so now, yeah, all right. I'm going to set that down. We'll keep going in here and see what we got. Looks like a unbalanced quarter-inch jack. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the receiver unit has, let's see, oh yeah, the receiver unit has they'll take it out of the plastic so you can see. This is fun. I like opening new things. Okay, take it out of the plastic. It's really wrapped in here. I'm going to try not to destroy anything in case I need to send it back. Let's get it out of this plastic. All right. Okay. So yeah, so you can see the back of the unit here has both XLR and quarter-inch outs, and then it also has the power thing. A couple of antenna leads. What is this? Well, let's find out what that is later. I don't want to break anything yet. All right, and then we've got the, what's this? Oh, this must be, okay, USB charger for the transmitter, and that is a little USB cable, and it's got this little proprietary thingy on the end of it here, which you can see plugs into this little proprietary thingy on the end of that, and then this other end plugs into the USB. So then they give you this little USB power brick to plug in to charge it. It looks like a USB A or B, not USB-C. And most things now are sort of starting to move to the USB-C, and so that's not quite obsolete yet, but it might be soon. And then we've got the AC adapter for the receiver unit, and we've got a couple of these little things just in case you want to use this thing in Europe. It's got the other AC adapter part, so you can just snap the American one off and snap the British one on. And then it's got rack mount ears, which I probably will not use, like I said, but it's nice to know that they're there in case you need them if you want to mount this to a rack. Okay, so that looks like all the parts. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to hook it up to my system, and then we'll do a little bit of recording and see what it sounds like. All right, I've got it all set up here. I've got my transmitter clipped to the bell, and I've got this positioned where I want it to. This gooseneck doesn't like to be positioned, it doesn't like to be twisted this way. So I've got it kind of over in like I said, in this sweet spot there, and that's where it's going to stay. Now this unit looks pretty cool, actually. It looks like it's got two places for the antennas to be. If you don't want the antennas to be in front, it's also got the same antenna leads in the back. I've got this connected through my XLR. There's also a 1/4 inch jack to, just in case you want to like plug it into a regular 1/4 inch. The volume knob over here, this gain control doesn't need to be up very much. I just did a little quick sound check before I played, and it was blasting everything through until I turned it down to about 1/4 of the way up or 1/3 of the way up. Now it seems to be sending the right amount of information. So you can see over here, this indicator shows you that it's getting radio frequency. It's connected to the transmitter basically, and then the one above that is going to show you that when I tap on this, it gets a signal as it's getting a sound signal. So that's all there is to this. There's stuff in the instructions about how to set the channel and all that stuff, and it looks pretty foolproof. So let's go ahead and play something, and we'll see how it sounds. I'm going to start with just kind of the same stuff I did yesterday. I'll do a couple of like really heavy, hard, plosive attacks up in the upper register and see what that does. And then I'll play this little furling etude, and then I'm going to walk around a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Okay, here we go. This is where the other one cut out the other day. It was right behind this wall. So if we're still good, we're good. All right, so hopefully hopefully this microphone sounds as good as the AWX. It's got kind of the best of both worlds. The transmitter clips onto the bell. Looks like it's got some long-lasting battery life. I think we'll test the fidelity and the resolution and the sound quality in there. And we'll listen to it and we'll see how it goes. Looks like I've got this dialed in now. I did a test recording earlier, and it turns out this mic is really, really super hot. It's a lot hotter than what I'm used to, and that's not a bad thing, but it was picking up a lot of key noise, and it was definitely, I've had to turn it down. Fortunately, you'll notice that on the receiver unit, I have too many things in my hand. I'm going to drop something. On the receiver unit, you'll notice that there's a little volume knob over here. You'll also notice that I've got it turned down to only about a quarter of the way up, and that seems to be just about right for my equipment. And I've also got this thing positioned a little bit differently now, so it's gonna be, it's the gooseneck is a little bit more. I'm having to like really be refined about where I'm aiming it. So we'll try this here, and so I'm going to do this again. I'm going to play a couple of hard plosive attacks. I just like that word, plosive. I'm going to play a couple of attacks on some high notes, and then I'm going to play some low notes, and then I'm going to play some softer dynamics, and then I'm going to do this furling etude, and then I'll walk around a little bit, and we'll see what this thing sounds like. I think I've got it dialed in by now, but we're going to find out. Okay, so starting with the hard attacks, this is simulating a sound check on stage here. Okay, that's about as loud as I'm likely to play in a professional gigging situation. And so we'll see if that peaked on the thing. I'll go back and I'll check all this stuff later. But while you're watching this video, you'll hear it. And I'll put little comments up as it is as it goes by. So now let's do some more softer dynamic thing. Now the one other test I'm going to do is, just for my own benefit, I'm going to try some different placements of this around the bell of the horn, just to see what it sounds like. And so we're going to start out. We've already heard it like this, so I'm going to move it over so that it's directly over the bell. This is what their instructions say to do with this, is to put it directly over the bell of the horn. I disagree with that, because as you can see now, you get a really, really strong low notes, but So up there, the sweet spot is all the way over here. You're not going to be able to get the same sort of clarity of sound in like where most of the playing takes place. And altissimo up here. Okay, so the other possibility would be to move it around so that it's in the front of the bell like this, and then aim it more up. Let's see, that may not work because it's not on there. Okay, there we go. Now aim this a little bit more like that. Let's try this. All right, so my suspicion is that I'm going to want to put this back where I had it, back over here, and have it be picking up the sweet spot in the horn. And it's just going to take some playing with it to find out where the mic responds best to where I like it. And I do notice also when I listened to the other recording, it picked up a lot of key noise. So I turned the mic down a little bit and then turned the gain up in my on my equipment. So it's picking up, the mic is picking up less, but then that signal is being amplified in the control room. So so it's going to take a while to just sort of find a balance between, you know, how much signal I need to send from the mic versus how much I need to tweak it in there. And that's all stuff that that needs to happen every time. If I'm, you know, like up on stage doing a sound check, this is the time to communicate to the sound guy and say, hey, look, you know, my mic seems like it's a little too hot. Can you like bump it down a little bit? Or my mic seems like it's not hot enough. Can you kick it up? Those are the kind of conversations that that might be good to have with whatever, you know, whoever the sound guy is. So I've got one more thing I want to try, and I'm just going to keep this running, but I'm going to turn this off temporarily because I've got, well, you'll see why. I'm going to try this. It looks like the connector is the same. Let me turn this off. It looks like the connector is the same type of connector between this mic and my old AWX. Now the only difference is that the AWX has like a 6-foot long cord, but at the end of that cord we've got the same mini XLR connector. So why wouldn't I try and do this? Why wouldn't I try and plug this XLR into this transmitter, turn it back on. Let's see what happens now. Now I can clip this to my belt pack or whatever I want to do with this. I'll just clip this mic back. Good old AWX ADX20i microphone, and it's going to sit right here and pick up this. Now I can play a little bit of So now let me know in the comments which one of those sounds better to you. I know I didn't do the full test on this with this transmitter. My suspicion is that I like the sound of this AWX mic a lot better already than the new Samson mic, and it just looks, you know, it's got a bigger capsule. It's gonna sound better. My suspicion is that this is a better microphone, but this transmitter and receiver is a solid piece of gear, and I'm loving it already. So anyway, it'll just take me a while to get this all dialed in. Leave some comments, click subscribe if you haven't already. Just wrapping up, we've tested 3 microphones so far, and I'll just give you my my brass tacks review on all of those. So far, microphone I like the best, absolute best, is the good old AWX AWX-20i. That's just hands down, it sounds the best, and it should. I mean, and it's 15 years old. They're still making it. That's still like a valid product. It's just the transmitter and receiver that I can't use anymore. So transmitter and receiver, I think the better one is the Samson product of the two. The NUX has some really nice features, and I like how portable it is, and I like how simple it is, but you know, the battery life is only even listed on their documentation as being 3 hours, and that's just not enough. I mean, I'd have to charge it between sets. The Samson says that their battery lasts 8 hours, which is a little bit better. I'll still have to charge it between gigs, so, you know, but at least I'll be able to hopefully make it through a whole night without having to stop and charge my wireless. So however, the microphone on the Samson seems to be a little bit thin sounding, and the gooseneck isn't very easy to position. It's clear that they designed it, intended it to just position it right over the bell, which I don't like. I think that picks up too much of the wrong sounds. Like I've said before in this video and other videos, the sweet spot in the horn is up here. So why would you have a mic all the way down here? That's going to pick up all low notes, and it's going to pick up all the growl, but it's not going to pick up any of the sweet, subtle tone that this instrument is capable of. And so we need a mic that's going to be able to sit right up in here and pick up the bell tones, sure, but also the nice, sweet middle of the horn. The AWX is great with that. The Samson mic, not so much. It's the gooseneck wants to position it this way. You can't twist the head of it to get to a different axis. It has to. It's almost like it wants to stay on that axis. So maybe there's a different way to mount it. I'll experiment with that. The NUX seems to be a little bit more possible to position in the right place, and the shock mount on the NUX seems to eliminate most of the key noise. Both the Samson and the AWX are picking up a lot of key noise. The Samson is worse. It's getting just all thump, 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 and that's really hard to get around. Now, when I put my AWX microphone on the Samson transmitter, the key noise was a little bit better. So the AWX has a little bit different kind of a design. It's got a little bit more. The shock mount up here is just, I think, far enough removed from the clip that it's able to eliminate a lot of the key noise. The Samson, probably there's a way to position it and set it up and get the sound dialed in so that the key noise isn't as noticeable, but it definitely, that's throwing me off on that product. The NUX, like I said, didn't have as much key noise, but it also kind of, the sound is a little bit more lifeless. It's just kind of doesn't have that sizzle that should happen in the saxophone, the tone of the saxophone. Maybe I'm nitpicking. I'm really only hearing that on, like, if I'm listening to it on my big studio speakers, I like to hear all of this nuance and subtlety that this instrument is capable of. The Samson and the AWX mics both got me there, at minus the key noise, of course, on the Samson. The NUX just kind of had a little bit more muted, a little bit more dull tone to it, even though I was playing the same instrument. So I think, you know, it's too bad I can't put the AWX microphone on the clip, because I like the transmitter on the Samson. I like the design. You can just have the transmitter right on the bell and not have a mile of cable. So maybe I'll see if I can find a way to do that. That would seem to be the best of both worlds. Anyway, for now, that's it, and I'm signing off. And don't forget to hit subscribe and leave me some comments. Let me know which one you thought sounded best, and I'll take your advice to heart. I've got one more microphone that I might try that is made by the company that used to make microphones for AWX. AWX has outsourced some of their things, and the transmitter and receiver, that used to be the old Rad 360, is now being made by another company, and so I may see if I can get my hands on one of those to test. So anyway, I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know about that. But in the meantime, leave some comments and click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.